Good morning, children. Welcome to English class. First of all, I beg your pardon for lagging today's class. Let's continue with the textual activities. Activity 2. Look at the sentence from the story, The Last Leaf. I would rather stay here with you, said Sue. What does Sue mean by the statement? Sue prefers to stay with Johnsy. Now read the conversation given here. Mary. Hi John. Welcome to my house. What would you like to have? Tea or coffee? John. I would rather have a cup of coffee. Here, John prefers coffee to tea. Here Mary asked whether he needed tea or coffee and he preferred coffee to tea. So here would rather is used to convey that someone prefers one thing or situation to another. Where should we use would rather? Would rather is used to convey that someone prefers one thing or situation to another. We prefer one thing to another. That time we should use would rather. Now study the sentences given below and note the changes. I would rather have apple juice. I would rather have apple juice. Next one, I would prefer to have cold coffee. I would prefer to have cold coffee. What difference do you find here, children? I would rather have apple juice. I would prefer to have cold coffee. Here, after would rather to is not used. And after would prefer to is used. So, would prefer is followed by to. Children, we use prefer to say what we prefer in general. Whereas, we use would rather to say what we want in a particular situation, not in general. That is its difference. So, prefer is used to say what we prefer in general and would rather is used to say what we want in a particular situation. And the other main difference, would rather plus verb. And prefer, after prefer or after would prefer, we should use to. Is it clear, children? Would prefer plus to and would rather plus verb. Let's go through one more example. Do you want to eat now? Here, the usage of would rather and would prefer. Listen carefully, children. It's very important. Don't get confused. Would rather plus verb. Would rather plus V1. Would prefer plus to. I would prefer to eat at home. Our preference of one thing to another. And I would rather wait till later. Okay. So here would prefer plus to and would rather plus V1. Look at next question. Would you like to watch TV? Here we are preferring one thing to another. So we can write I would prefer to study. Or we can say I would rather study now. Is it clear, children? Once again, children, after would rather to is not followed and after would prefer to is followed. Activity 3. Read the sentence from the story, The Last Leaf. She was looking out of the window and counting backwards. Here, the sentence can be divided into two simple sentences as below. Look at that, children. The first sentence, she was looking out of the window. And the second sentence, she was counting backwards. Here, and is used to connect two simple sentences. See, children, she was looking out of the window and counting backwards. Here, and is used to connect two simple sentences. Now, study the use of and, but, and, or in the sentences given below. We all know that, children. And, but, or, all these are conjunctions used to connect sentences. Look at the sentences here. John and Mary are writing a book. Then second one, your book is on the table or in the drawer. Mohan is poor but honest. Fourth one, she danced beautifully but not very energetically. Then last one, Roy went to the beach but Irfan stayed at home. Now, let's analyze the given sentences. Look at the first sentence. John and Mary are writing a book. Here, the preposition and is used to connect two noun phrases. Here, the two noun phrases are linked using and. Which are the two noun phrases? John, Mary. These are the two noun phrases. You know that, children, noun is a naming word. So, John and Mary. John is a noun phrase, Mary is a noun phrase, and these two noun phrases are linked using the conjunction and. Now, look at the second sentence. Your book is on the table or in the drawer. Here, or is used to connect on the table, in the drawer. That is, on and are prepositions. So, these two prepositional phrases are linked using or. So, children, in the second sentence, or is used to link two prepositional phrases. Then look at the third sentence. Mohan is poor but honest. Here, but is used to connect the words poor, honest. Do you know which parts of speech is this? Mohan is poor, honest. Here, poor and honest describes Mohan. Mohan is a noun, naming word. So, a word which qualifies or describes a noun is called adjective. Here, but is used to combine two adjectives. Is it clear, children? Then fourth sentence. She danced beautifully but not very energetically. Here, but is used to connect two words such as beautiful and energetic. And these two words here describe her dance. So, she danced beautifully but not very energetically. Here, dance is an action word, that is verb. So, words which describe a verb is called adverb. So, here, but is used to link two adverbs. Then fifth one, Roy went to the beach but Irfan stayed at home. Here, but is used to connect two complete sentence. Roy went to the beach is one sentence and Irfan stayed at home is another sentence. So, children, let's sum up. Here, and is used to connect. In the first sentence, it is used to connect two noun phrases. And in the second sentence, or is used to connect two prepositional phrases. And in the third sentence, but is used to connect two adjectives. And in the fourth sentence, but is used to connect two adverbial. Then last sentence, but is used to connect two complete sentences. And children, one more thing. And, but, or are coordinating conjunctions. Coordinating conjunctions. That means they join equal parts in sentences, words, phrases, or clauses. Children, basically conjunctions are of three types: coordinating conjunctions, subordinating conjunctions, and correlative conjunctions. Coordinating conjunctions means they join equal parts in sentence, phrases, and clauses. And they are only 7 and often called as fanboys. See, children, for, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. All these are coordinating conjunctions. And they join equal parts in sentences, phrases, and clauses. Next one, subordinating conjunctions. They introduce a part of a sentence which holds a lesser meaning. Okay. Coordinating conjunctions join equal parts in sentences, words, phrases, or clauses. But subordinating conjunctions introduces a part of a sentence which holds lesser meaning. And subordinating conjunctions are after, although, as far as if, as long as soon as though, because, before, even if, when, were, wherever, even though, every time, if, in order that, since, so that, than, thou, unless, until, whenever, whereas, and while. Then third one, correlative conjunctions. Correlatives are pairs of related words, and these conjunctions link grammatically equal elements. Which are the correlative conjunctions? Either or, not only but also, neither nor, both and, whether or, just as, so, the, as much as, no sooner than, rather than. Correlatives are pair of related words. Okay, and they link or they join grammatically equal elements. Let's go through some examples of correlative conjunctions. Read the passage given below and study the phrases given in bold. Both Mr. and Mrs. John watch television regularly. So do their children. They enjoy cartoons and wildlife programs. But both parents think that the children watch too much TV. Both children watch television for over 4 hours a day. Neither child reads very much. If Mrs. John asks either of the children to turn off the television, an argument will result. Neither Mr. John nor his wife knows what to do about their behavior. They can either ask the children to watch television less often, or they can take away the television itself. Now, let's consider the phrases given in bold. First one, both Mr. and Mrs. John watch television regularly. Then, they can either ask the children to watch television less often, or they can take away the television itself. Neither Mr. John nor his wife knows what to do. Now, shall we split the sentences into two? The first one, Mr. John watches television regularly. Mrs. John watches television regularly. The next one, they can ask the children to watch television. They can take away the television itself. We removed either or. And in the first sentence, we removed both and split that sentences into two. Then third one, neither Mr. John nor his wife knows what to do. We know the children, neither nor shows negative. Either or is optional and neither nor is negative. So this is negative sentence. So how can we split this sentence? We can write, Mr. John doesn't know what to do. His wife doesn't know what to do. Or Mrs. John doesn't know what to do. Otherwise, his wife doesn't know what to do. So children, here neither nor, both and either or are used to connect two persons or things. See, Mr. and Mrs. John, both Mr. and Mrs. John, here two persons. Then they can either ask the children or they can take. Then neither Mr. John nor his wife, here neither nor, both and either or are used to connect two persons or things. Children, both is used to link two noun phrases. It is followed by a plural verb. Both Mr. and Mrs. John watch. That is V1 form. V1 form is used along with the plural subject, that is Mr. and Mrs. John. So both is used to connect, used to link two noun phrases, and it is followed by a plural verb. And when two nouns are combined using either or neither nor, the verb agrees with the second noun. It is very, very important, children. When we use either or neither nor to connect two nouns, the verb agrees with the second noun. Look at the example. Neither Mr. John nor his wife. Here in this sentence, Mr. John also singular and his wife also singular noun. So here second noun, that is his wife. Wife is singular noun, so verb plus S or es, knows. Let me give you another example. Either teacher or students go for the trip. Here either teacher or students. Which is the second noun? Students. Students are singular or plural? Students, it is plural subject. So either teacher or students go. That is V14. We know that, children, in present tense, if the subject is plural, only V1 form, verb first form. And if the subject is singular, add S or es to the verb. Let's go to activity 4. Read the sentence from the narrative, The Jungle Air Crash. I was so dizzy that after each step I had to rest. Can you guess the meaning of the sentence, children? That means the narrator was dizzy. Because of that, after each step she had to rest. Here, the narrator was dizzy. So what happens as a result of that? As a result of that, she had to rest after each step. Now, if we split the sentence, we will get, I was dizzy. After each step, I had to rest. So here, these two sentences are combined by using so that. I was so dizzy that after each step, I had to rest. The narrator felt very dizzy, and as a result, she had to rest after each step. So that is used here to combine the two sentences, and it brings out the meaning that one is the result of the other. Could you get me, children? So that is used to combine the two sentences, and it brings out the meaning that one is the result of the other. Look at the box given here. I was very dizzy. That is the cause or reason. And the result of that, after each step, I had to rest. Now, read the following sentences. The exam was so difficult that most of the students failed. Here, which is the reason? The exam was difficult. And the result of that, most of the students failed. Then second one, he was so weak that he had to be rushed to a hospital. Here the reason, he was weak, and the result of that, he had to be rushed to a hospital. Then next one, the tea is so hot that we cannot drink it. So which is the reason here? The tea is hot, very hot, and the result of that, we cannot drink it. Then last one, he drove so fast that no one could overtake him. So what is the reason here? He drove very fast, and the result of that, no one could overtake him. Is it clear, children? So children, so that is used in the sense that one is the result of the other. Let's move on to activity 5. Read the sentence from the narrative, The Jungle Air Crash. I was sitting in the third row of seats from the rear next to the window. Mother sat beside me and a man we didn't know on the aisle. Here, what is the function of the words given in bold, such as in, from, next to, beside, and on. What is the function of these words? Yes, it shows position. It shows position of the things or the persons. Am I right, children? So the words in, from, next to, beside, and on are prepositions. They are usually placed before, that is pre. That's why prepositions. They are usually placed before a noun or noun phrase. Let's go through some prepositions. About, above, according to, across, after, against, ahead of, along, amidst, among, amongst, because of, before, behind, below, beneath, beside, besides, between, beyond, by means of. See children, what's the difference between beside and besides? Beside means by the side of, nearby. Besides means in addition to, one more. He knows English language besides Malayalam. Okay, children, that's the difference. Beside means by the side of, and besides means in addition to. Don't get confused. Then here also see in addition to, in case of, in front of, in place of, in spite of, into, inside, instead of, into again. That is, there is no gap. Into. See the difference? Then except for, next to, past, per, prior to, round, since, of, on account of, on behalf of, on to, throughout, till, times, to, toward, towards, under, underneath, unlike, until, and unto. So these are the prepositions. Now read the following passage. I was traveling by train. As the weather was too hot, I was dressed in white. The person who sat next to me was reading a book. I asked him where he lived. He replied that he was an actor and returning after a stage performance. Now, let's analyze the first sentence. I was traveling by train. Here, which is the preposition by? And the preposition by in the sentence comes before the noun train. By train. Train is the noun. So the preposition by in the sentence comes before the noun train. Now list the prepositions and write down the word classes that followed them. Let's go through that. Next sentence. As the weather was too hot, I was dressed in white. Here, which is the preposition? In. And the followed by word white. And the word class. White is here adjective. I was dressed in white. And white is here describing the noun, that is adjective. The word class is adjective. Next one, the person who sat next to me was reading a book. Which is the preposition here? Next to. And followed by word me. Word class. Me, that is pronoun. I asked him where he lived. He replied that he was an actor and returning after a stage performance. Here, which is the preposition? After. And followed by words a stage performance. Here it is a noun phrase. A stage performance is a noun phrase. Noun phrase means the head word is noun. That is, stage is the noun. A stage performance, noun phrase. So children, let's sum up. A preposition can come before a noun, a pronoun, an adjective, or a noun phrase. A preposition can come before a noun, a pronoun, an adjective, or a noun phrase. Activity 7. Read the sentences from the narrative, The Jungle Air Crash, and look at the words given in bold letters. It was the 10th day, as I later reconstructed it. I knew it was senseless, but I yelled, "Hello, help," over and over again. Now, Let's examine the words given in bold. And the first one, the word reconstruct. Children, we can split that reconstructed or reconstruct into two. That is re plus construct. Here, the meaning of re is again, and re is added at the beginning of the word construct to form a new word. Here, re is added at the beginning of a word construct to form a new word. Children, such additions to the beginning of words are called prefixes. I hope you had already learned in the previous years prefix and suffix. Words added at the beginning of each root words are called prefixes, and words added at the end of each words are called suffixes. Can we add any other prefix to the word construct? Yes. D plus construct, deconstruct. So prefix means words or letters added at the beginning of each word is called prefix. Then read the following sentences. Ravi has a keen sense of taste. John and Mary had a senseless argument. Here in the first sentence, sense is used to name one of Ravi's abilities to react to something. That is, Ravi has a keen sense of taste. It is his ability, one of his abilities to react to something. And in the second sentence, John and Mary had a senseless argument. Senseless, which means without sense or not having sense. It describes argument in the second sentence. That is, sense is a noun and senseless is a describing word or adjective. Words adding at the end of each root words are called suffixes. And see children, sometimes some nouns can be changed into adjectives by adding suffixes. Is it clear children? Here look at the note. The addition of a suffix often changes a word from one word class, that means noun to adjective, or like verb to adverb, like that way. So when we add suffix to the words, its word class would be changed. Here, the addition of suffix er to the root word work, we would get worker. Work becomes a noun by adding er. Look at the box that children, work plus er, worker. It becomes a noun. And the verb like there becomes the adjective by adding the suffix able. So likable, it becomes adjective. Then the noun child becomes adjective when we add the suffix ish. Then we got the word childish. It becomes adjective. Then the noun idle becomes the verb idolize. When we add I said a to the word idle, it becomes verb. The noun idle becomes verb when we add the suffix I said d along with the word idle. Is it clear children? So the addition of a suffix often changes a word from one word class to another. That is verb to adjective or noun to adjective, noun to verb and verb to noun, like that way. So children, prefix means words or letter adding at the beginning of each root words are called prefix, and suffix means adding words or letters at the end of each root words are called suffix. Is it clear children? So children, we could complete fourth unit also, and second term portions have been completed. I hope you all can comprehend today's class, and most of the important textual activities we have discussed through the video classes. You all should work out the textual activities. Thank you. Have a nice day.